Hello and welcome to Coffee with a Counselor. My name is Janice and I am with North Range Behavioral Health. I am the program director for Family Connects, which is the program that supports infants and young children and families and their caregivers. And today I thought we would maybe talk about how life is at home right now with all these little people and their big emotions and the chaos of it all. I just can't even imagine how you are all feeling, and I'm so excited to spend some time with you today, and it's a great break for me. So for all you parents and caregivers, I know that you've probably been up since the crack of dawn with your little ones, and maybe you've already had a cup of coffee, but if you haven't, grab a cup of coffee, tea, water, whatever, and find a way to take a little bit of a moment with me, either now or later when this comes out. But go grab a cup and let's have a time just to take a break. So today I kept thinking about, what do I want to talk about today? I've been in the field of early childhood and behavioral health for so many years. I've raised a family, have grandkids, and love young kids and the way their brains work and the messiness of it all. But can't imagine how hard it is in this safe at home, being more kind of contained in space with the loud, messy noise of little ones. And so I thought, I just want to check in with you and really see, how are you doing? How are you doing during this new normal, this time where maybe you're not working from the office or from your workplace? Maybe your kids are no longer going to childcare and that routine has changed. Maybe you have school-age kids and little ones, and you're having to manage it all, help them with their schoolwork and create some sense of a routine. And I just can't imagine. I unfortunately feel overwhelmed sometimes, and it's just me and my spouse here, and we're adults, and we sometimes have to work hard to manage our big emotions of feeling like, oh, I just need to get out. So for you, this is hard times because you have to be responsible for so many things. And I wonder, how are you doing? How's it going at night? Are you getting sleep, or are you getting up 3, 4, 5 times a night? Wondering how your children's routine of sleep and managing that. Did they used to be nappers and all of a sudden they're not nappers anymore, and you're wondering, when am I going to get a break in the day? So I thought about these things that were so critical to talk about with big emotions for little ones, and how change can create a lot of chaos and bigger emotions, and it may feel like it's gotten worse than it was before. And I'm so impressed, with my children at home raising their grandchildren, and also thinking about friends raising their children and families, and you grandparents that are raising grandchildren, and single parents and foster parents. I also think about all of you mothers who are pregnant right now, and the extra layer of worry that comes with thinking about COVID-19 and all the implications for being pregnant and going to the doctors and delivering. So I know there's a lot of extra things happening right now. But I am so excited you're making it through. And Laura, I'm so glad you've joined us. I know your kids are older, but it looks like you have some little ones. So I'm impressed that you are hanging with it and a champion. I wonder if you had the same feeling I have when I listen to commercials. I was kind of laughing the other day when they were saying, we're all in this together. And I kept thinking back to when I had little ones at home, or if you guys do, and thinking, well, where were you during that last big tantrum? Or when Johnny threw the ball out the window and now we've got to figure out how to get it, and you've got a cracked window. Or what happened when your little one wasn't sleeping and it's the 5th time you've gotten up in the night and you've got to get up tomorrow and work. I also wondered where everybody was when we're all in it together, when you just needed a break and you went to the bathroom and you couldn't get even a break there without little hands. So I decided that maybe today the talk was really about just taking a moment to think about how you guys are doing this and that you really are able, and the amazing creative power that you are all doing, and you're just creating opportunities for your children to be with you. And this being together alone, you're exactly right. It's this time of we're together in this all, where we can give each other support and encouragement virtually by phone, but we're kind of home alone in often many of these things. So yeah, let's talk about the importance of your role. I've been in early childhood for so long, and one of the things I always step back and realize is that parents and caregivers are the best and most important teachers for their children. Sometimes you don't feel equipped to do it. Sometimes you may feel overwhelmed in that, but you really are the longest and the most stable, predictable teachers they'll ever have. Now, the great thing is there's a lot of supports around us, therapists and teachers that can give us ideas and strategies, and at North Range, we're here for you also to be that. But I also wondered about, how does it work for you as parents of young children to manage and create these routines and do that? And I started thinking about how different it is for little ones. Children birth to 5, 90% of their brain is forming during this time, which means you are their primary teacher. You're building this foundation. And I always think about how they can't get from their downstairs brain to their upstairs brain till they get older, because it hasn't been built yet, and how busy that is. And so oftentimes we talk about they're in their lizard brain. They're in that wild, crazy, loud, uncontrolled brain that just reacts and has big emotions and big tantrums and big feelings that they don't know yet what to do with, because they got to get to their wizard brain up front that helps them think and plan and problem solve. So in this time with young kids, you guys are it. You are the ones that help them develop those strategies. And for many of you, you may have little ones that have unique and special needs. And that adds another layer of stress, because their routines have really changed now. And you're having to think of, how do I create a routine that can be predictable and consistent? It's a lot. And I know that the supports have gone virtually for many of you, and you're seeing your doctor, maybe your therapist, you're seeing your teacher, and it's all virtual or by phone. And it doesn't always feel like it lands. But you are doing an amazing job. And we are like in the second month, the end of the second month of this new normal that we're all wondering, like, when is it going to end? How do I help my kids really look at that? And how do I help them develop a routine that's going to work? So I just want us to slow down for a moment and think about, what are those critical things that you as the parent, the warriors of setting up your kids' new normal, what are some of those critical things? And it may feel like this is going to be a lot of extra pressure on you, but I realize that the most important thing for adults and parents and caregivers of young children, well, any children, is that responsive relationship. That being present with them, not perfect. By all means, kids don't need perfect. They just need present. And how hard that is when you have to be present. And you're right, Lori, we don't get that alone time. We don't get time to maybe just go for a walk by ourselves if we're single parenting. We don't get time to just sit and think or go to the gym and work out and get all that stress out of our system. We have to think about, how can we be present, predictable, calm, the steady for our young kids and our big kids? How do we set up a new routine? And maybe give permission to let some things pass, because, boy, it is just too hard to have all the structure be the same as it was before. Your kids aren't getting the same kind of breaks they used to get before. Maybe aren't able to go to the parks or be a part of play dates with other friends, or the play dates are virtual. And that's another interesting thing, huh? So I really wonder about this time to step back and think about what are some of those simple things that we can do each day that can help us get through. I'm curious what you guys are doing. How are you taking some time to get some much needed self breaks? Is your partner or your spouse working a lot of hours away from home, so you maybe feel like you're in it alone? When they're there, they give great breaks, but boy, you wish you could have more of them. So one of the things I think about that I know is so simple but hard to remember is taking that break to just close our eyes and breathe in deeply. Maybe grab that extra cup of coffee, get a cup of tea, maybe roll our shoulders a little. Maybe just think about how to self-talk. Kind of that fake it till we make it. I can do this. I can be calm today. I can handle one more tantrum today. I can be that person my kids need for me today. And you may mess up 500 times today, but your kids know when you show up and you're present. And that one time you show up and you're present fills their bucket. And that's the little thing that you can do. So I think about, how are you filling your kids' buckets? Doesn't have to be big. It isn't like getting to go out for ice cream. It would be fun to think about how we could all get up and enjoy times together. And you picture in your mind, hey, tomorrow I'm going to make pancakes and I'm going to get up. And then you get up to the day and your kids are tantruming because they want to go out. They want to go over to their friend's house. So I think about these critical things in their brain that just will help those calm, happy hormones is what I call them instead of the stress hormones. What fills a little one's brain and body with calm? And it really is that mirror image of calm. That you being calm, even if it's chaotic, that you can take that big breath. You can slow your voice down. You can kind of slow your body down. And that is hard to do when everything feels like it's just gone up the fireplace, the fire is going, right? Is to slow ourselves down, to use a slow, calm voice. That's when I think we have to reach inside and say, I can do this. I can slow down. I can slow my thoughts down. I can slow my worries down. Many of you are wondering, you've maybe been furloughed or your job is unstable right now and you're wondering about the finances. And that's loud in your thinking, and it's causing you to feel more worried throughout the day and maybe have a shorter temper or react quicker. And your kids are there watching and seeing how you manage those things. And those are the hard times when we have to step back and just say to ourselves, I can do this. I can get my body calm. We breathe in deep. We slow our voice and our brain so that our body starts getting calm. When our body gets calm, then we can think. And we know that's the same thing for little ones. When they're in their downstairs brain, their lizard brain, their body isn't calm. They're just going to go, whoo! And we have to help them get calm. And you're exactly right, Renee. I love hugs. Touch is so huge to help kids get calm. Some kids need more touch. They may need that deep squeeze. They may need you to help them jump up and down and get a lot of those wiggles out. They may need you just to sit by them and just be calm without talking. They may need you to do a lot of thumbs up and high fives that just help them know that you're watching and you're proud of them. And then words are powerful right now. And thinking about those do-oriented words, those words that describe what we want to see, those words that give attention to the behaviors that you're enjoying. And that is hard to do without kind of thinking about it when you get a break. to calm down. So you, instead of saying, don't do that, you're thinking, okay, I'm going to give attention to when they're sharing really well. Or I love how you're playing with your blocks. You can build so big. Those compliments fill their emotional bank so well, but it's hard to do when there's a lot of busyness. So keep working at that. You guys are amazing to do that. But to stay calm in all of that, we have to really remember that self-care, that time of really stepping back and telling ourselves the things we did that day that we were glad that we were able to do. That slowing down. I love how some of you are calling hugs squeezes, and you're right. Some kids have a lot of sensory needs. They need to run and jump, and maybe you live in a place where you can't go out and do that as frequently. Get a blanket, roll them up into that blanket, make them a pig in a blanket or a little hot dog and squeeze them and unroll them and create some opportunities to get that deep touch, that feeling that their body feels calm. When it gets really loud in your house, get really little with your voice. Think about how to bring down the noise level. Turn a light off occasionally. Use a low voice. Help them play a game that gets their voice low and slow. I think too, when we think about really wanting our little ones to be able to experience us being present, is don't ever forget that you have the power to fill their bucket just by being you. I know that you guys have so many things on your plates, and sometimes you need to just be able to go outside with them, or even get out of your apartment complex or your condo complex. Walk somewhere where someone isn't. Breathe in that big air for all of you, and just take a moment to not have to worry about saying a lot of things, but let them have a lot of running energy and jumping energy. For those little babies that need to feel your calm body, just breathe deep and snuggle them in. Slow your body down. It's all right to be able to look at things that maybe you've not done for a while, that it's okay to do. Just being able to get some sunlight. You're right, Laura. I love how you're talking about the sunlight through the windows. And the thing I love for kids is their brains can take a little word or a thought and they can expand it. So as you're standing in front of a window, just help them look. Wow, do you see the sun? Do you hear a bird? Think about language and things that they can look for, things that can distract them. I also think about those simple strategies of reasonable choices. Instead of maybe directing them, think about giving them one or two choices for the day. Do you want to read a book right now or play with blocks? That simple giving them a choice helps them feel in control. And when kids have big emotions, they love that sense of being in control. And it's hard sometimes as parents because we want to have them kind of contained, but use reasonable choices. Come up with those in advance. Think of a visual chart on your refrigerator. Maybe think of what the routine can be and have kids think of things that they want to put up on that. Put on the table. Make a picture of things I like to do to get my body calm. I also know that it's important for us to reach out and keep those social connections as adults. It's really tough when you're in it and they're all little bodies, or maybe you have teenage bodies and little bodies, and so you've got all of this emotions that are all over the place. Sometimes it's great just to call a friend, call a family member, and just ask them to be there. Just say, let me just talk. Let me just be. It's okay to not be perfect. Just to let it all out when you can. I think about that 90% of the brain forming between birth and 5 years of age. And for those of you that have got little ones, you are big brain builders. And we've got lots of resources that can help you have ideas. There's lots of great things out there that you can kind of look at, ways to build their brains and support their brains. But the biggest thing is that kids thrive in responsive relationships. They learn and grow best in a relationship. And the relationships they crave most are those with loved ones, with family, with you. So take time to really think of the ways you fill yourself up. What helps you be in that calm space? What makes you feel like you're ready for the day, even when the day arrives way early, or the day never ended and you were up all night? Think about how can you take one thing each day or in the moment and just keep it simple. Think about kissing it, keeping it simple and specific. You know your kids best. You know which ones need more deep touch. You know which ones need to play in their room quieter for a few minutes. You know those ones that need to be kind of around you all the time. You know their temperament. You know their moods. Sometimes it's helpful to think about how can you get ahead of it? How can you prevent that? So think about how long can your kids go playing on their own before they need a big emotion dump in their emotion bank, a compliment, a thumbs up of, hey, you're doing an amazing job. You're so creative. I love all of these things around self-care and getting out. And as the community opens back up and it's safe to join back into things, be purposeful of choosing the things that fill your bucket the most. I love that. I love that some of you are already thinking about some of those great self-care things. So as we kind of wind up our time, I just want to kind of remind us of a few of those things. Slow ourselves down. Really think calm. Breathe in. Slow our bodies down. Slow your thoughts down. Step back before you react. Step back and think, what is happening right now? What is it that I want to focus on? What behavior do I want to give attention to? The one that's helpful or the one that's so challenging? The more we give attention to those helpful behaviors, eventually the other behaviors slow down. The other thing too is think about how can you intentionally be doing some piggy bank dumps, some filling their bucket dumps. What's going to fill each of your little one and your big one's dumps? What's going to fill you up? Also think about how do you keep refilling it each day? If you find something that works, we know for little ones, repetition is great. Keep after it. We may get bored with that book 5 million times, but they don't. They never get tired of hearing how proud of them you are. They never get tired of hearing, wow, you're an amazing superhero. For some reason, little brains love repetitive statements and touch. So keep after it. And then remember each day to do a lot of self-care, even if it's just a minute. A minute to take another cup of coffee. A minute to just sit back and think. So I love some of the strategies. I'd love to hear some of the new games that you guys have figured out in this virtual world. How are you sharing with your other friends? I love the creativeness. Sometimes I think we just need to remind ourselves that we really do have what it takes. We really are able to do this. And our kids, remember, they don't need you to be perfect. You are going to mess up. We all do. They just need to know you're present. And they're going to feel you being present by just being by them, looking at them, getting at that eye level and just getting down there with them, sitting with them, maybe not even doing anything, but just sitting by them while they play may help their bodies calm. And then when you do get those moments of break for yourself, I remember thinking about, I would go in the bathroom just to get a small room that was quiet and just think, maybe put those things that you really want in the bathroom, some essential oils, a scent that you really like, a magazine you haven't gotten a chance to read. Take a moment and just remember, you've got what it takes. You're able to do this. And we're here to help. We're here to be there for you. I love this. I love this idea that, Laura, you have of using characters. Shrek's a fun one. Maybe a new way of doing hide and seek. Maybe it doesn't have to be you. Maybe it can be like the elf on the shelf or hiding Shrek. I love that. Kids don't have to always understand the rules. They love to just be involved in play. I also want to remind you that in times like this, crisis can happen. Big things happen. Chaos can lead to big emotions, feeling uncontrollable and unmanageable. And if you or someone is experiencing a behavioral health need, remember our crisis line is available for you 24/7 through the night, any day. And that phone number is 970-347-2120. And if it's really big and you feel like you need to walk in and be with someone in person, our walk-in crisis center is open. And that is at 928 12th Street. Or you can just text TALK 38255 and we can be there for you. The other thing North Range has added is a new warm line. This is a time for any of you that you just want to talk to someone. You want to get some strategies. There's not a big crisis yet, but you just need to know, am I doing the right thing? How can I get ahead of it? How can I help maybe prevent it from getting worse? And our warm line is available to you now from 10 to 10 at 970-347-2359. And I love it. Any of you that are out there with little ones, we invite you to join our Dyna Club, which is a social and emotional learning time for 15 minutes in the morning. You can grab your cup of coffee, and our Dyna Club leaders will help your kids stay involved in some social and emotional activities. So if you're excited about maybe an opportunity to have a break for yourself, think of joining Dyna Club for your little ones, your 2 to 7-year-olds, Monday through Friday at 9 o'clock. We have it in both Spanish and English. Hey, you guys, I love that you're going to take a cup of coffee and read something for the next 10 minutes, Renee. I think I'm going to finish my cup of coffee too. You guys have a great day, and tell yourselves at least 10 times today, I can do this. I've got what it takes. I am the most important thing in the day for my child. I can be their brain builder. All right, you guys, from North Range Behavioral Health, have a great day and enjoy your coffee.